Hey, that is so sick. That is so sick. That is actually so sick. You're watching me on a CRT. That is so sick, Project Ambly. Doing a little experiment. I'm watching the stream today on a semi-flat CRT from the early 2000s. The picture is blurry. The contrast is not that good, but it's tolerable. Here's the thing, though. You know why a lot of things in the early thousands were all like black on white? It's because CRTs, they kind of struggled with black backgrounds. Because they work in the same way that like they work by being photons. This area, this black area, basically doesn't get any light. That's why it's a pitch black. The contrast and the resolution is a little bit blurry. It's very hard to read text like this. That's why, for example, the text is like super blurry. In that vein, this is amazing to play retro games. Even if you play it on more modern hardware, if you hook it up like a Switch 2 on like a CRT and play like the old games, they get this benefit. For example, like if you look this through a CRT, I don't know if you're still here, Ambly. Ambly, nerd alert, nerd alert. I know, I'm being very nerdy. I'm very sorry, but I love this kind of stuff. I absolutely love this kind of stuff. This image is actually using a technique called dithering. You're gonna be seeing that it looks a lot better than something like, my model, which is high resolution and low contrast. That's actually such a cool thing. I'm being so nerdy right now. I know, I am very dorky. I'm a nerd. I love this kind of stuff. I love retro consoles, dude, I have a PS2, PS1, N64, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, PSP, 3DS, DSi. Look! Oh my god, that looks so good. Look at this. See how it looks a lot more natural with dithering? This is why dithering exists. It's supposed to blend in with the CRT filters, right? And the CRT filter makes it look a lot better. That is so... I'm so jealous of you, Amberly. I am not joking how jealous I am that you have a CRT that works with modern hardware. That is so cool. I am so jealous. But see, that's why dithering is the thing. That's why when you play a lot of retro games on emulators and you see them like this on a modern screen, this is how it's supposed to look like with a CRT. Because the CRT has kind of like a blur to it. Because it's not a pixel perfect image. It's like literal beams of photons. Like every single line like this, it's a beam of photon that's being like spent super fast. You know what I mean? I'm nerding out too. I'm nerding out so much. I know. And that's why it looks so... That's why retro games looked so much better. You were seeing this in real time with a modern thing. And at the same time, that's why, for example, dark mode didn't used to be a thing. Because even though my overlay, you can see the lines, you can see you can see a lot of the details in the background. In a CRT, you wouldn't be able to do this because the contrast wasn't that good. You see how the text is like on the chat is unreadable? That is why. But it also has near zero latency because it's like the speed of light. This is just beams of photons going through a cathode ray tube. I think that's the thing. Yeah. Emulator can use the filters to get that effect. Some filters are good, some filters are bad. Depends on the game as well. But nothing will ever beat for retro games. Nothing will ever beat a CRT. You see how like it doesn't look bad. Like you can see a lot of the details, especially if you're from far away. But like certain things is a little bit harder. You know what I mean? In the meantime, with dithering and proper technique, it looks so much better. That is why. Anyway, a little bit of a nerd lesson in in retro console.